This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Now it's time for our main event of the evening. It's a match that we've seen on pay-per-view a lot. It's Diesel versus Bret. It happened at the King of the Ring in 94, the Royal Rumble in 95, and even Survivor Series 95. Diesel won the first match by DQ. The second match was a no contest. The third match, Bret won. But at the Rumble 96, Bret and The Undertaker's match is interrupted by Diesel. So Gorilla Monsoon announces he's putting Bret and Diesel in a 15-foot high steel cage. I like these old blue cages. This is one of the last appearances we would see. We would only see it a handful more times. I think probably SummerSlam 97 might have been the last. Or maybe they did it once more after WrestleMania 14. Either way, though, the old classic blue cage, you had a nickname for it, and I think Briscoe had it for years at his body shop, right?
Yeah, old blue. It was fucking horrible. A little snug. Little snug. Not as snug as the Elimination Chamber, but fucking snug.
Well, the match itself here gets plenty of time. It's in a cage. Remember, the name of the show is In Your House 6, Rage in a Cage. They go 19-13. Meltzer would say live, he was told Diesel was about 70% of the cheers, but a lot of it was attributed to the USWA television show that aired this weekend, where Hart was doing several heel interviews for his match in Memphis with Jerry Lawler. Meltzer would say, I don't think the portrayal of Hart as a guy who was lucky to be champion and doesn't really deserve it in this day and age helps. With the exception of the Smith match in December, which was the perfect match to get the champion over and the belt, Hart lucked into the belt in a match Diesel should have won, but was too nice of a guy. And then Undertaker should have beaten him twice, but Diesel saved his ass both times, which is the last thing fans want to see involving a babyface champion against a popular challenger, because the natural reaction to begin with is you want to see a title change. Bret's been pretty vocal about this too, that he didn't like the booking on the way to WrestleMania 12. He felt like you did him no favors between winning it at Survivor Series and WrestleMania. How would you respond to that criticism?
Well, I think that, first of all, I thought that it was a good story, and you were using Bret to tell another story with Undertaker and Diesel. You were using Shawn over here, and the idea was Bret was going away after WrestleMania 12. Not everybody knew that, but Bret was going away. We didn't know how long Bret was going to go away. We didn't know if it was going to be 3 months or 6 months or what it would be. So on the way there, you needed to use Bret to tell these other stories.
Right.
So how much do you really want to invest to make Bret an unstoppable champion if he's going away after the big show? And you have to start building new people. So I'll defend the creative all day long, because again, we had to build to what we knew that we were going to have when we're done with WrestleMania 12.
Let's keep it going here. Talking about the match, Meltzer would say, anyway, the first 15 minutes of the match were boring, as Diesel was just so limited in what he can do in a match where the object is to climb and he's not climbing. Even forgetting the confines of the match, Diesel looked slow and unimpressive, and Hart lacked fire. It picked up in the last few minutes and had a great finish. As Diesel was about to go out the door to win, Undertaker came from under the ring and grabbed his foot and dragged him under the ring, and special effects of smoke under the ring went through the ring canvas. Hart then escaped the cage to win, but come out of the show once again as a second-tier star underneath Undertaker, Diesel, Michaels, and Vader. Diesel then climbed back from under the ring with his pants torn and climbed the cage, quote unquote, running away from Undertaker to show he was afraid of him. Ironically, after largely being cheered during the match, Diesel was almost 100% booed afterwards. 1.5 stars. So I think the booing is really more indicative of they love the Undertaker more than they love Diesel. That's okay. I mean, he's more established and more the legacy character. What do you think of the finish? And what do you think of the idea that, hey, this isn't the right kind of match for Diesel because he's not going to be climbing?
Well, again, it can go through the door a lot of different ways to do it. And I thought that the match was a good match. actually. You go back and watch it, and it's a decent match. They were telling a story. And when you get to that story at the end, it was to get to the story of Undertaker now is going to fucking keep this one from Diesel. That was the story of this match. And, you know, the thing that we didn't do that was actually Kevin Nash's idea that I so badly wanted to do, and I actually remember going back to Vince and making a second pitch at it, going, God, I know this sounds crazy, but I think it'd really be good, is that once Undertaker pulled Diesel into the hole and got Diesel underneath in the hole, that when Diesel reappeared, that he had a gray streak in his hair. And I thought, oh my God, that's so fucking great. And I think that it was ruled that it would be too hokey and like, hang on, man. We're cutting a hole in the middle of the ring, pulling the guy into the depths of hell. All this smoke billows out and all this shit like they just opened the door to mine and Briscoe's room at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. And the fucking goddamn guy coming out with a gray streak is too fucking hokey. I just thought that would have been cool and would have added to it a little bit. And we didn't do it, obviously, but I do think that would have been a nice, fun addition. But to get to the stories, to tell all of the stories that we wanted to tell at the end of the day, I thought it did a magnificent job of it.
Do you think they borrowed that idea a little bit in TNA when they did the broken Matt Hardy thing? He just randomly had the gray streak.
So I didn't see that, but maybe. Yeah, well, no, I have no idea because I didn't see it. That's back when you would make me watch things that just you would fucking kidnap me in your living room and make me watch shit randomly.
Well, and that was one of them. You gonna act like that wasn't entertaining?
Sometimes it was. Sometimes it's fucking brutal. I just wanted to go upstairs to my wing. You're mean to me. You kidnapped me.
You're mean.
And then like when I had, and by the way, you took you took away my access on your Sonos and all that other shit. I got rid of the whole goddamn little box where I had all the Conrad house apps.
Are you serious?
Because you just discontinued all my passwords and shit.
That's not true.
It is too true.
Well, here's the deal. You better not be trying to turn on lights and shit from up at your house at my house. That's dirty.
Well, I did it, and then you got mad and you took my password away from me.
I don't remember doing that. I don't think this match sucked as bad as everybody else does, but do you think Nash's heart just wasn't in it?
I do think his heart wasn't in it because he knew he was leaving.
When you think about cage matches, did the WWF just fuck it all up with this escape to win thing? Or did you think it added suspense?
That's not the WWF, man. That's, and again, it's, first of all, it's the Sheik and Bruno. And it was shit that they used to do in Detroit and Toronto. And then Vince Sr. did it so that Bruno wouldn't have to do a job.
Okay.
And then it just became the norm. So yes, to me, in the South, a cage match was the blow off. That was the definitive nobody in, nobody out. And Ole Anderson fucked it up by putting the top on the goddamn cage, nobody in, nobody out. They can't even climb over the top. And then raise the fucking cage in the middle of the goddamn match. So Ole fucked up the cage, the Southern cage, worse than anybody. And then all bets were off and fucking just Cage has become a prop.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.